everyone, I'm Nick from nextstepnick.com, and today we're going to talk about Tools Up. And I'm not going to lie straight off the bat, I'm just going to say I really had a great time with this. I recruited my wife to help me play this because it's very much a co-op game. It's very similar to things like Overcooked, Overcooked 2. You're sort of completing tasks in, this time rather than a kitchen, in like a handyman setting, so you're painting walls, taking down wallpaper, changing floors, doing all these different bits and pieces around this apartment complex where each apartment is different and there's a different theme on various floors. And there's like this comical aspect, so it's really sweet, it's very family friendly, it's really good as a party game. You can't really play it on its own, but I think the difference between this and games in the past like Munchkin is that it avoids the repetitive nature that you get in that, and instead embraces the Overcooked style of things are designed to go a bit mad. Like, it's meant to go insane. Things aren't meant to be right. Things aren't meant to work out perfectly. It's just meant to be pure, unadulterated fun where you know that people will play this either when they've had a couple of drinks or at a party or with the family, and you're going to mess up. You're going to mess it up, you're going to take the mick out of each other, you're going to have a lot of shouting, there's going to be a lot of altercations because of this game. But it's a good thing, it's a really enjoyable, fun romp. I mean, full disclosure, I did receive a key for this title, so I was given a key for this, but I'm going to still try and remain as objective as possible. So what you're doing is, like I said, you're a handyman or a handy woman working with your team to make sure that the house meets a specific load of objectives that are set forth by these blueprints. So when you first start up, you've got to clean up the house, get everything ready, and for example with the blueprints they'll tell you to like paint a wall or change a floor. They'll show you exactly what you're meant to be doing. So in an ideal world, this is what you're working towards, and you're graded on this as well. However, as this is happening, you'll see the clock is counting down in the top, so it all gets a bit frantic, and you do have to work together. There's specific things that you have to do. For example, say if you're changing the floor, you're going to have to get the carpet, you're going to have to lay the carpet, you might have to take up what's there already, make sure you don't spill the paint, make sure you're doing the walls as well, make sure there's no wallpaper on the walls that you're trying to paint. There's a lot of stuff you need to do. Things fill up quickly and it can get a little bit hectic. It's a lot of fun though. I mean, there's a lot to work towards as well. There's all different player models and things like that, so it feels like you're actually earning something when you finish a level. Again, much like Overcooked, you're graded on that, and then in turn the things like the stars you get go towards new characters. So it feels very rewarding and really enjoyable to continue to play because there is something to earn and show off, and it's just very enjoyable. I just enjoyed every second of it really. I think what it does is it takes the multiplayer aspects of other games, and instead of just saying, okay, here is your objective, let's just get this done, oh, you're going to compete against each other, instead it's basically hoping for the fact that you are trying to work together. It's indulging that whole aspect of you've got to be quick, you've got to deal with these complicated problems fast together, and that can be funnier than fighting against one another, because rather than being annoyed with each other intentionally, you start getting frustrated because you can see that, say for example your co-op partner, they're doing really well on one thing but you're struggling with something else, so you start to resent them for that, and then you start to play little games with them. Like for example here, I heard about it later when I locked my wife out of the elevator and wouldn't let her in, but the point is that I enjoyed the game, I had fun, and it really encourages that dynamic, that teamwork dynamic, at the same time as kind of making a bit of rivalry. You kind of want to finish before the other person, but you're working towards this overarching goal anyway. Just really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. It gets complicated as well, so things do evolve. You're not seeing the same levels over and over again, which is the problem I've got with other games that do similar things. Everything is kind of different, and it mixes things up just enough that when you think you've got things down on pat, you think you've gotten used to the dynamics of the game, it adds something new. It makes you work towards something different. So furniture, or for example mixing up your own mortar and doing the floors, picking things out of certain areas, juggling these deliveries that are coming all the time of different things you need to do your rooms. It really helps you to feel like you're working towards something. It feels like it's getting more complicated as it goes on, and that just makes it fun. I just had a great time with it. I remember at this point I think we were getting really frustrated because on this level specifically you had to pull things out of the water, but you also had to be rotating the map, and when one person rotates, the other person can't see. So it can be a little bit hectic, but that's good. I mean, personally speaking, I think it just adds, I remember that exact moment as well and being moaned at for it. So I think the thing is about this game, it's just got so much potential as a party game. There's so much to enjoy about it. And just as you feel like, oh, I'm starting to get used to this, it mixes things up. I didn't see the same level twice, for example. And when you start to think, okay, I'm used to taking down wallpaper, I'm used to doing the painting, then you have the flooring. Okay, I'm used to doing that. Then all of a sudden, rather than just putting down the floor, you have to actually do the mortar and then lay the floor. Okay, it's getting more and more complicated as time goes on, until eventually you get into such a flap that you end up panicking and struggling, and that in turn makes the game more enjoyable, and it doesn't feel like you're grinding. I think that's the major thing. It doesn't feel like you're grinding at any point when you play this. It doesn't feel like you're just doing ABC over and over and over again, because it just has the formula done so well, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't recommend it enough. I think it's great. If you're looking for a party game, I don't think you can really go wrong with Tools Up. I mean, little criticisms here and there. The only thing I would say is that it takes a little while for it to mix it up when it comes to the actual theme itself. So at the moment we're on like a garden theme, and that takes a little while before the room's actual looks different. So here we've got this whole idea of plants and rivers, and that's really cool, but it takes about 4 or 5 levels to get to here, and I could have had it a bit sooner. I could have enjoyed it a little bit sooner than this. You know, I could have quite happily seen this after 2 to 3 levels, maybe change the theme a little bit. But that being said, that's only when I'm nitpicking. I mean, there wasn't really much I could really critique about it. I just enjoyed it, had a great time. Like, there's not a lot in regard to single player content is the other thing, of course. It is a co-op party game, but I think it would be interesting, for example, if there was more of a single player focus as well. Just for example, party games or something like that, where you're kind of working against the clock. Maybe it's a bit stricter, maybe it's a bit more difficult, maybe there's some sort of funny aspect there, or maybe like a competitive mode you could also play online, maybe, if you're playing on your own, where 2 people are trying to complete something quick enough, or they're trying to stop each other or hinder each other. Something like that. Think a little bit like Hitman Ghost Mode in this kind of game. It could be really interesting. But anyway, that was Tools Up. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video. It really helps out with every single like you give me, so thank you very much. As well as that, thank you to everyone returning and watching all my videos. It's really appreciated, and I'd always love to see what you think. Please don't forget as well, you can head over to nextstepnick.com for all the latest news, reviews and articles, and hopefully I'll catch you again very, very soon.